Well, we are currently in the W900 right now. As you can see, I don't have a trailer hooked on. We are going to retrieve Tim. He has a turbo or something blown on the C5, so he's parked off the side of the road here. We're going to go ahead and hook onto his trailer so that he can limp that truck home. We put an actuator on that turbo last week, and that took care of some problems that we were having earlier on. But he claims he has no power now, no boost, no nothing. So we're assuming that the turbo is gone. They offloaded the load of manure that was on it, and he got as far as here and didn't think that it would be wise to try to pull the empty trailer home, so try to get that as light as we can get it. Hopefully we don't have to come after it with a lowboy. So we're gonna get hooked up here and get back to the shop, and we've got to pull out with the chopper yet and get the rest of the hay chopped here.
How dare you!
Well, this project will have to get on to another day here. I'll have to order a turbo up and get that on there here tomorrow or the following day. So we'll join back up with you when we get working on that project. At least we were able to limp it home and we didn't have to hook onto the lowboy and go through all that rigmarole. Well, here we are on this C500. We're going to pull this turbo off. We put this actuator on here last week because we thought we were having issues with it. It did respond a little better, and then I think the whole turbo itself failed here, so we're going to pull this off. We're not supposed to get a turbo here till tomorrow, so hopefully it comes off easy without any problems here. But first thing I'll have to do is get that actuator off of there, because the new turbo does not come with it. That was like $400 and some, and it seems to be set up here now, the turbo itself. So we've got a couple of bolts to take off, a couple of clamps here, and hopefully it comes off of here without any problems. Tim was always fascinated with the RC toys. Well, there goes the new knives, but I guess we didn't do too bad. But we've got a rock right there, so I'm gonna try to get a bar in there and knock that guy out of there, and then we can maybe get back chopping here. But yeah, good times. Alright, so we just left the shop here a little while ago. They poured the floor, or they're pouring the floor into bulk right now. And we're actually into the following day. And we just ran a sharpening cycle over these knives. And now the shear bar is set, and we'll show you what these knives look like here. After our stone event yesterday, it moved 2 rows of knives back on this left-hand side when that rock got caught in there, and we were unsure of how we were going to get that rock out of there. One option would have been to loosen up these springs, but there was so much tension on them, I worried about pulling the ends of the threads off on the bolt that comes up through that spring holder there. And it would have taken quite a while to get them to loosen up. Well, I guess there's not that much bolt down in there, but I worried about ruining the threads. Once this case is opened up, this door is opened up, it will not allow you to start the cutter head. So I'll show you a little trick here. There's a sensor on here that it's actually right there. It detects when this door is shut. So you unplug this plug right here, and you cross there's 4 pins in there, and you cross them diagonally. I've got a couple of plugs made up here, and then that'll think that the door is closed. We had the door open, and I started the cutter head up after we moved the shear bar out because we had knives that were hitting. And then I ran that feed roll back and forth, and it spit that rock out. It would not run the feed rolls into reverse to spit that rock out forward, and I don't think you'd want to do that anyway. You could run the risk of bending up that bottom feed roll, which that has the magnet in it. And if you crush that too far, the roll on the outside will actually hit the magnet, and that's not a good thing. These feed rolls were brand new when we started this year, and then you can see that we've got a couple of spots where that rock went in yesterday that really mashed up this feed roll. Now the rock detector, stone detector, didn't go off because we had such a large mat of hay going through that it wouldn't allow, or it didn't sense the stone until after it was too late. It did kick the stone detector when the knives hit the stone and pounded it back into the feed rolls. Plus, when the stone went in, it was above that bottom feed roll. So we ended up having 2 rows of knives get moved back, and we had to reset those. It took us a little while to do that, and I just ran the sharpening stone over it here, and I had a couple of knives that were a little out of whack, but it's got everything all pretty well trued up now. So we're going to go ahead and get after it. This is the last day of chopping here for first cutting. So we're hoping to be done by 1, 2 o'clock and get them 2 small bunks covered. So we're going to put the head on and head to the field. We're chopping seedings that we planted this spring. Well, if you can hear that 4620 screaming over there, that is hooked to a generator. Had a little bit of wind go through here a little while ago. Not really all that much wind, but a tree went down the road, and it's knocked our power out. So when the power goes out, we end up having to hook up 4 generators, 2 to milk with, 1 to pump water on what we call the old side of the road, and then we have to take another generator down to the actual pump house to pump water up from the spring that's on that side of the road. So we're going to get this turbo starting to go on the C5 here. So we've got a new one in the box here. This was $2,985 or something like that. So we're going to get that on there, and then Tim is going to start hauling manure with the C5. We've got to get it washed up a little bit. It's got a little bit of mud on it from the past couple of months here. So we're just going to go ahead and get started with it here. It should roll together rather easy. We've got the power shut off in the shop just so that we can use all of our generated power for the fans and whatever that are up to the milking barn. So let's go ahead and get this guy here opened up. We've also got a PTO there for the Freightliner, if we could ever get working on that. So what do you say, Bob? You gonna do some washing while I'm putting that turbo on? All right. Well, we've got the turbo on. I ended up replacing the supply oil line, the drain tube for the oil, and the return line for the coolant. I did not replace where the coolant comes in on the top side of this turbo. Now, we replaced the actuator on the other turbo. It worked for a while, and then it didn't work anymore. They told me when I bought that other actuator, which was $400 and some, that a new turbo does not come with the actuator. Well, this one came with an actuator. So we've got to just hook up some air duct work here, and then we're going to be able to finish this up. I've got to put the coolant back in it, and then we'll be able to roll this out the door. Now our power is back on. You don't hear the 4620 over there. However, the power is not on from past that pole right there. They've got the lines unhooked as they're working on the line down the road here. So north of us, the power is not on, but they got us back up and going. It kicked the breaker when that tree went down, so they unhooked it from that pole there, and then we're three-phase power up to that pole, and then from that pole north it's just single phase. So years ago when we put our parlor in, well, it'd be 21 years ago, they brought three-phase power down from the corner down to here. So we've just got a few things to button back up on this, and we'll be able to roll this out the door. Got Newton Ag hauling manure with Jared. Zach's got two of his trailers in here, and Jared's hauling with our other one. We got to get Tim going here so he can haul with them. All right, we're gonna start this up now. I got as much coolant as I can get in there. I gotta let it run for a minute. I spilt a little coolant. Oh, we're gonna get spit at for a minute here. Well, that's a good thing. I don't see any leaks. These steel lines here, where this is the return oil line right here. This one wasn't too bad, but these other ones were, now the swivels didn't want to work on them, so I ended up kinking them up pretty good here. There could be another one here somewhere. Let's see where the other one is, but the oil pressure line was pretty well rusted as well. I twisted that one up, so I said, you know what, we'll go ahead and replace them anyway. The only problem is, well, they're stainless. The only problem is they don't have any paint on them. They're gonna get corroded here pretty quick, but that's what we deal with. Tim take it for a test drive here and see if he thinks it's got the power it should have, because I didn't drive it. the other day when he bobtailed it back to the farm. Before we pulled it in and yanked that turbo off. Here is the old turbo here, which I've got to send it back. I've got to get it in the box that the new one came in, because there's a, I think there's a $400 or a $600 core on that. So I got to make sure they get that back and make sure I get the credit for it and all that crap. How low are you? Right there? Good? Alright, so we're going to let this get up to temperature. We got to top the coolant off. I did spill a little bit here the other day. I thought I had it drained good enough. And, yeah. Alright, we're going to take this for a little test drive. Boys are working on truck 14. They took the box off of it. It's got a blown hose that goes to the tailgate. And we're getting ready to put the tank on it. So let's see what this old girl's got for power, eh?
I've been good, I don't want to light them up.
Yeah. Got 3 Max hauling manure, and Tim wants to go play with them. Show them all what for. Got Jared hauling, and Newton's got 2 of his trucks here today. What do you think, Timothy?
A little smoke. That's the probably got more power.
Yeah, it's gonna have a little bit of oil residue in
on the big road here.
in the system yet, where it's got to burn it through the exhaust.
Yeah, it's probably got some oil left over.
All right, Tim, let's show these guys how the real shifting gets done.
Up there.
Well, we're just kind of running around the block here, and runs a lot better than it did, doesn't it? It's kind of sickly when you were bringing it home that day.
Yeah. I wonder if there was a little bit off the game before that happened.
Yeah.
Find out we'll get a little food back and up the hill.
Yeah. Well, folks, that's gonna do it for this one. Hopefully I can get working on that Freightliner now. I keep getting it up.
That's all made. I keep breaking it.
Yeah. Well, folks, we'll come at you for the next one here. We'll start working on that Freightliner. So we're done with hay now, so I ought to be able to focus most of my attention towards that. We've got to hit these higher priority things that we actually need running on a daily basis here. So we kind of needed this runner. We've got a lot of manure to get out on the ground that we want. Seat down here in the next one.